Today, we're cooking the most expensive baby back ribs I've ever cooked. They come all the way from Spain. Take a look at these guys. They're gonna be delicious. Let's get into it. What's up, barbecue fans? My name is Jake, and today I am super excited. We are doing Iberico baby back ribs. They come all the way from Spain, and they're commonly referred to as the Wagyu of pork. Now, I've actually never had it before. I picked these guys up from Meat and Bone. I've been trying them out with some meat, various things lately. You guys have heard me mention them in a video. They have Iberico pork, and today we're gonna try it for the first time together. I mean, I'm the one that's gonna benefit from this because I'm gonna get a chance to try it. But I'll talk about the pork in a little bit here. Let me talk about how I prepped it about 4 hours ago. So we got our ribs in the package here to have a look at them. They look a little different shape than we're used to seeing for baby back ribs. As you can see, they kind of narrow down to a point. And on that point, there was a couple little bones there. I decided to trim off just the tip. And then what we did is we removed the membrane. Now, these ribs were quite dry out of the package. So what I did is I took my sprayer that I use when I barbecue. It just got 50-50 water, apple cider vinegar in there. And because this pork, I've never tried it before, I don't want to cover it with a bunch of rub. So what I decided to do is just salt and pepper. I got out some Diamond Crystal kosher salt. We gave a nice coat to the bottom. Then I grabbed my pepper cannon and we ground up some fresh cracked pepper, gave a nice coating to the bottom, flipped them over, rinse and repeat, salt and pepper one more time. And then what I did is I just put them on a cooling rack. We threw them in the fridge for about 4 hours. And that brings us to where we are right now, except for about 30 minutes ago, we came out, we fired up our Kamado Joe. This time I decided to go the extra mile and give it a little bit of an extra clean on the inside. And of course, doing this, I wasn't paying attention and I ripped off the rim that holds the ceramic firebox together, which is always frustrating when that happens. But since I did it, we're gonna keep it in the video. And all I did is I took some shop towels, I bunched them up and I braced out the firebox so that it was away from the side so I could get that rim back on there to hold the firebox together. I stole this trick from Smoking Dad Barbecue, except for I used shop towels just so I could get some, I'm drawing a blanket. What the heck are those things called? Not pliers, but you guys know what I'm talking about. But you can see that I was able to pull all the shop towel back out there, and then that way I just don't have to leave it in there. If you use paper towel, you can just leave it there, it will burn. But with the shop towels, I wanted to pull that out. Then we put a layer of some Kamado Joe Big Block down there, emptied out a bag, got a fresh bag, put a little bit more down there, and then I'm low on hickory wood. I've actually only got some small chunks of it left. So because the pieces are so small, I kind of scattered that around the first layer of lump there. You'll notice I put some extra near the front because we're gonna light the front and this is gonna burn towards the back. I'm doing 2 cooks here, so I wanted to have some hickory to burn throughout the cook. And then what we did is we got our Grill Blazer grill gun, started up our lump, took us about a minute, got a nice hot fire burning down there. Then we put the star accessory in there. I put the deflector plates in place. We left a little bit of gap there. We want to get everything preheated. And then I threw a couple chunks of the hickory in there and we closed up our dome. We opened up the top all the way. We opened up the bottom all the way. And then we waited about 15-20 minutes and then I pushed everything back together and we're just dialing our temperatures. Right now, we're sitting at 250, so we're in good shape. Our smoke is nice and blue, which is exactly what we want to see. Let's have a look at the star of the show. So here they are. I mean, take a look at these guys. There is a ton of this white, soft fat on the top. We've got a nice coating of salt and pepper on either side, but it just feels super tender. You know what? If you touch Wagyu, like A5 Wagyu, the fat actually melts with the warmth of your hand. These are too cold for any of that, but you can just feel that the meat feels tender, much more tender than a traditional rack of ribs. Now, this is a treat, right? This is probably not something you're gonna buy every day, but let me tell you, there is a big difference between grocery store ribs, butcher ribs, heritage pork. Then you go up to Berkshire and then you get to something like this. Lots of people are like, oh, ribs are ribs. They're really not, right? There's a big difference in the texture, the flavor. You can see the color is different and it's just more enjoyable. If you're gonna take the time to spend to cook for an afternoon, I'm a firm believer in buying some higher quality meat, right? I don't go out for dinner like I used to. I'd rather buy a really expensive steak, cook it at home, and have myself what would have been a $400 dinner out for 150 bucks, then go spend 120 or 150 bucks on a crappy meal. That's just me. I kind of switched that years ago, and I think that it's worth it for the extra price of the meat, and because you're cooking it, you know it's going to be perfect. So anyhow, we've got our smoke rolling. I think it's time to get this rack on here, so let's do that. What we're going to do here is we're going to put this right off to the side here. I'm going to do 2 videos today, but we're completely blocked on the bottom. We're going to push this together, and then we're going to leave them alone. Like I said, we're rolling with hickory today, and we're going to do these at 250 dome temp. Like I said, we're rolling with hickory today, and we're gonna do these at 250 dome temp. I expect them to cook a little quicker than traditional grocery store ribs, so we'll see where we're at in about an hour and a half or so. So remember I told you I thought these ribs would cook quick? I was right. I was thinking that because of all the intermuscular fat that is very, very soft, is going to render out quickly. Let me show you what I've done. We're only an hour and 20 minutes in. I literally just turned these over. I should have the cameras rolling, but when I temp these guys out, right, so you can see we're about 194 on the bottom side. So what's happening here, the bottom is cooking very quick. The bottom is actually pretty much done, but the top of the meat has not quite gotten to the point where we want it to get yet. So what we're gonna do, hold on a second here. Yes, we're running all 3 smokers today. It's a busy day on the patio. These ribs are gonna be done very, very quickly. I'm thinking maybe 20 minutes top with them upside down, and then we're gonna pull them off and let them rest. It's only been 15 minutes. I'm gonna pull these guys now. I think we're in good shape. And we're gonna rest these guys. Yeah, I mean, look, juices are just rendering out of that. I mean, they look and smell phenomenal. I'm shocked at how quick they cook. I knew they'd cook quick, but I didn't expect them to cook that quick. Let's see what we got here. Get away from the bone. Look at the water. They're between 202 and 205, all right? So they're done. I don't want to push them any further, but I do want to let them rest. So I'm just gonna keep the ends open. So what'll happen here is our steam is gonna escape out the ends, and they're gonna come down in temperature. Probably gonna let these sit for about 10 minutes. So the moment of truth is here. I can tell you, I can smell them, and they smell absolutely delicious. Gorgeous color. You can see we've got some nice bone pull back there. Got the bottom nice and finished up. I mean, let's just dig in. This will be the first time I've actually had ribs without a sauce in a very long time. There we go. Gonna pull out a couple here. Quite a thick membrane on them. They are juicy. They're a different color inside, actually. They look a little darker, and it looks like it's dry, but if you just squeeze just a hair, all the moisture comes right to the surface. I was worried there for a second, and then a little bit of tension, and away they go. I mean, look, hopefully you can see the moisture there. I mean, they are not quite enough to drip out. It's a very thin cut of meat. Sun, the clouds are fighting with me right now. So sorry for the the coloring, but bite through right there. Flavor is very unique. When you bite through, you get the taste of pork, and then you get some of that intermuscular marbling, and it's like a little fat pocket explodes in your mouth, and it follows up with a slightly different flavor that is very, very tasty. I mean, Salt and pepper on these is perfect. These, my friends, are super, super tasty. I really didn't know what to expect, and it's almost indescribable. I mean, I talked to you about that burst of fat flavor that comes through it in the middle of the chew, but it is very, very unique. It's like A5 Wagyu, right? The first time I had that, I thought in my head I knew I was getting, and my first bite I was like, holy smokes, this is completely different. This is the same thing. If you've ever been curious about Iberico pork and you've wanted to give it a try, this is the pork gods telling you, give them a try. It is very unique, and I think you're gonna like it. Just remember, they cook crazy quick, right? 275, 1 hour and 40 minutes, and we're done. So keep that in mind. Hopefully you got some value out of this video. If you did, please hit that thumbs up button down there, hit subscribe, and come back and see me again. Thanks as always for watching. I'll see you soon.